I need to take these bolts out in order to line up the holes in the top to drill through to put these bolts in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to temporarily drive some screws through this and into the jaws to hold them in place. I'm not going to be able to get clamps on this because it has to sit down flat on the top. So what I'll do is I'll drill a pilot hole here, and I'll drive a 2.5 inch screw in so it holds it in place. So now with those screws driven, I can take these nuts off and take the bolts out, and it should stay, well, it will stay where it needs to be. Okay, I've got my work table set up on a couple of recycle bins to hold it up off the floor. And I'm getting ready to put the vise on. Okay, I've got the vise set in place. I've moved the blocks to where they need to be, and these are going to get screwed to the underside of the bench with 3-inch screws, and I've got 3/16 inch washers on these. So I'll just put those in place, and I'm just going to hold them down tight and drive the screws in. They snug up. Now eventually I may glue these in place, but not yet because I want to make sure they're good. This whole thing has to slide in and out properly, and that may need adjustment. So I've got the same 1/2 inch brad point bit that I used to drill through this, and now I'm going to hold this down tight and drill through part of the way into the bench top. What I'm looking to do is guide the hole so it goes straight for that little bit, and then I can take the vise off again and finish drilling the holes. Okay, I should be able to push the vise ahead easily enough to expose the holes and just finish drilling them through. I put a piece of tape on the drill bit to show where I should stop drilling. Just to be on the safe side, I've clamped a piece of 2x6 underneath the table just in case I do drill through. I'm going to try not to drill through, but just in case I do, the 2x6 will stop any huge breakout. Now I'm following the same path the bit did when it drilled through here. Okay, that's it. Okay, I've turned the table back around, and here's the tips of my drill where they came through. They came through good, and I can see where they are. What I need to do is make 2 countersinks here, but they need to be elongated. What I've got here is I've got wood grain going across, and that expands and contracts, not very much, but enough to cause problems if you don't allow for it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to route out the countersinks for the heads of the bolts, elongated like this. This is kind of an oval shape. This is actually bigger than it needs to be, but you know, better too big than too small. So I'm just going to eyeball this centered over the hole like this, clamp this on, and route that out. Okay, that's it. I've got both of them routed out. I can see that the head of the bolt is below the surface. Fits in there good. The next thing I need to do is kind of elongate this hole also, so that there's room for the bolt to move back and forth. I've got my 1/2-inch bit in again, and I'll just set it in, and then I'll go forwards and back to elongate the hole. You don't need a whole lot because this is not actually going to move a lot. I think 1/8 of an inch each way would be fine. For the countersink to be big for this. Okay, now that I know it's good, I'll go ahead and drill the rest of the holes. Yeah, I've got a lot more faith in that kind of fastening than just 2 points. Alright, so that's the fixed jaw, screwed in place. What I need to do is, now I need to take the screws out that I use to hold the jaws closed on the bottom, so that it's free to move and I can open and close it again. And also put the lock nuts on these bolts rather than the regular nuts. Alright, well I made some adjustments to the blocks underneath, and it seems to work pretty good now. It's still a little stiff, but it will loosen up over time and wear in. You don't want it too sloppy when you start with, because like I say, eventually it'll wear in, and then it might become too loose. The point is, you want to be able to open and close it fairly easily. Should be as simple as that. You reach underneath then and close the lever, and you're ready to use it. Just gonna open it again, push it in a bit further. I went ahead and I made a handle. This is a piece of maple that I turned on the lathe. I turned some ends from 3/4 inch Baltic birch plywood. I've already glued one end on, and I'm just going to take this one off. Just 1.5 inch screw holding it on. That goes through the hole, obviously. And then I'll put a little glue on here. I thought maybe I shouldn't glue this, but then I thought, why not? I mean, when is this going to come off? When it breaks. If it breaks. So I might as well glue it on, and that way it stays on there solid. So I got the glue on there. I'll just drive the screw in and snug it up. And that's that. Easy to use. I kept this pretty long. I don't like the short ones because I like to get a good swing on it here. I also went ahead and cut the jaw material to go in here. I pre-drilled the the countersinks for there, and I'll go ahead and put those on now. It's just a matter of putting them in place. I think this one goes on the outside, yeah. Putting them in place and screwing them in. Just going to drill pilot holes